Alright. Let's get it. Okay. Hello. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go over my final monthly recap of 2023, December. Here we go. Okay, so I kind of gave a spoiler at the end of November's video of what I watched in December. So the first day, I watched the newer version of Suspiria. At the beginning of November, I think I watched the original one from the 70s. I gave it a 3.5 and I said interesting, and that was it. I like the original one better. Some reason they just added, it seemed like they added a whole bunch of extra stuff. It differed from the storyline a bit, which, I mean, maybe you'd want that in a remake, but it differed in the ways that I didn't like. I watched Night on Earth. That movie, I think I was watching it while I was doing something, or I kept getting distracted. I don't know, because I don't remember anything about it. I originally put it on there because Winona was in it, but it was like a lot of intersecting stuff. She was like in it for maybe like 20 minutes and it was in the beginning, and then it went to the next person. It was all a bunch of different stories. It was very highly rated, but it was boring. Finally watched 9 to 5. Okay, so for all of December, I only watched, maybe there's 2, but the majority of them were from my list, which is this one, that I thankfully will never ever have to talk about ever again until I start watching the rest of the films from it. All I said was I kept writing it as hashtag number 9 to 5 on Twitter, and now I'm embarrassed. Very thoughtful review. I'm going to interrupt this broadcast with an announcement about my 2024 film challenge. Take it away. Hello folks. My challenge for 2024 will be 30 movies in 1994, the year I was born, because I turned 30 this year. So I'm watching 30 movies during the year of my birth, during the year that created this chaotic, unhinged individual that you're looking at right now. I kind of was like, let me beef it up a bit, and like maybe I do 2 movies each month, and then that would at least give me 24. But then I was like, no, I'm not doing any extra stipulations or anything else. 30 movies, boom. I know I'm gonna get that done. I know I might have said that about this challenge, that I was gonna get it done because like,
that's only 100 movies. There's 365 days in a year.
Blah, blah, blah. But no, I've done my female filmmaker challenge. I've done my 22 foreign film challenge. Something else. I don't care. I know that I can watch 30 movies in a year. I watched 136 movies. So I know I can do that. It's just that when it gets too complicated, that's when things start messing up because it's hard. Okay? No, it's gonna be simple. I'm setting myself up for success, not failure again. I don't think I ever showed this. Look at, oh wow. It doesn't want to focus on him. So then I went to Short Term 12. I gave it 4 stars with a heart. It had that one chick, Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. For a while, I stopped watching her stuff because I watched The Room with her, and I thought that movie sucked so bad, even though it had such great ratings. But I thought it was bad, and it was boring, and it was annoying. So I didn't really watch a lot of her movies since then. Okay, then I watched Our Friend, which I also was passing over this movie a lot too. It was okay, a little drama. It actually was a true story, and I like afterwards Googled the people to see like the differences and stuff. But from what I could tell, it seemed like they stayed pretty true and accurate to what actually happened in real life. I don't know what was up with me last year, literally 1 year ago, when I was picking all of my films for this 100 film challenge. I went crazy with the French films. Maybe it was like 30 or over 30 French films that I watched, and they primarily were like December. It was like one after another, and I was just like, first of all, what is up with these French cheating movies? They're cheating on each other. I don't even know, like, problems where they have to cheat on people. They're so like trying to get in bed with everybody. That's their main. They wake up, they have a tally list, and that tally list is for how many people they can cheat on and then how many people they can sleep with. This film is Jeanne Dielman, 23, Quoi du commerce, 1080. Oh yeah, this isn't actually in France. I think this is in Brussels. Do I know where Belgium is on a map? And how close it is to France? No. Will I know? Maybe. Yeah, that movie I gave it 3.5. It was okay. It was so long. Like at this time, I was like, I need to start watching these super long films, like, because In October, I just went and watched all of the shortest films. So pretty much I had a lot of long, like over 90 minutes films. This one was 202 minutes and it felt like it. I remember I was tweeting it and I was like, I felt like I lived 3 lifetimes and this movie is only halfway through. It was so long and so mundane, like, and I guess that's like what this lady, Chantel Ackerman, I guess that's what she did. I didn't look much into her, but it seems like her films, like she really likes to have, and I can see here, filming in real time, like realistic dialogue. She wasn't editing anything in post. She slapped them things together on the timeline in whatever software they're using back then. I don't even know if it was like whatever they were using. Slapped that in there, made minimal cuts. Like I watched this lady give herself a whole bath and then I watched her. It was literally like I was watching Food Network and watching someone make a recipe. I watched her make some breaded fish or whatever it was. I don't even remember. And it was literally like 30 minutes of her battering and cooking this fish and then finally it cut and it was just so slow. It was like not even a slow burn. It was like slow but like yeah, burning in pain. It's highly rated though, so maybe we should watch it. I went to Cleo from 5 to 7. I also give this a 3.5. I just remember it being super dramatic. She was like waiting for biopsy or something. She was just like so like, I think she had a boyfriend, but he wasn't even treating her right or something. I don't remember if there was some like cheating in it or something, but maybe there was. But there's this one point where she like took her wig off and it had me shook because I thought that was her real hair. No, it was a wig. So then I went to the earrings of Madame Day. And this one was better than the other ones I've seen. Of course, there's a whole bunch of cheating. You know, that's how French people are. I didn't write anything for this either. I just gave it 3.5. At this point, I was just like, boom, 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 getting it done. I was supposed to be watching 2 films a day for 27 days. That lasted like, whoa, I jumped around. Sometimes I watched 2, but it definitely was not every day. And I think that stopped after the like first few days. So then I watched L'Argent or whatever. I'm not a French speaker. I can barely speak English. So that movie was okay. It was just like some dweebs trying to print fake money or something. And then like, it literally like snowballed and it started with these little bad kids and this guy who's like, they're like, I thought you were a good guy. And he was like, I'll be good when I'm rich or something like that. And then like he gave some fake money. He ended up stealing from his job. And yeah, so then it started affecting this other dude. And this other dude got in trouble and he couldn't prove that he didn't have the fake money from beginning. And like the place where he received the fake money, they lied and went to court and even lied in court. That started that little teen guy's like villain arc story because he lied in court. So then he stole from the job after that and then he started doing bad things. So then the dude that got the fake money from the little teen's job, his life changed and he went to jail. I think his wife and kid left him. I think she wrote a letter and was like, I'm leaving you or something dramatic like that. So then he like, I think he went and like ended up killing someone. I don't know. That's a lot of spoilers. This day I was shredding years and years of paper that I needed to shred. So I decided I was going to watch 2001 Space Odyssey, which was on my list. I really liked Dr. Strangelove. I watched that in my film class that I took because I didn't want to take art in high school. So I really liked that. But this is the total opposite of that. Like this movie, like it was really nice to see visually. Like a few times I was just like, how was this made? How did they actually do all this stuff in the like 60s? Other than that, it was like boring. That's why I gave it 3.5. So I finally watched Gaslight. I wrote, that guy is the blueprint for half of the human species. Not me though. Y'all be easy. I was annoyed for the lady because that dude was so annoying and I called it too. Like, okay, what if that dude is the reason why his aunt died? And I was right. Okay, I called it. He was so annoying. Like, I was so irritated watching him sneak around. That other guy that like ended up helping her, I was like, dude, if you don't hurry up and put the pieces together. Ugh, I mean, I get it. I know why she like, you know, was being gaslighted and feeling defeated and, you know, being with this loser dude. It's just crazy how back in the 40s and like 30s, and I guess now, they'd be like falling in love after like 3 days. I'm like, girl, stand up, get up. Then I watched The 39 Steps, and this was by Alfred Hitchcock. It was pretty good. Robert Donat or whatever, he's like funny. First of all, he's attractive, but also he was like witty. I haven't looked him up on Wikipedia, so I really hope he doesn't have like child brides or anything like that while I'm giving him props, because I don't know why, but that was a hobby of people back then. Yeah, that was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. Had a little twists and turns in it and a little banter that was really well common back then. It was really entertaining and I enjoyed it. And also, it was like 86 minutes, so it was like the perfect running time. Moving on to Once, I gave this a 4.5 with a heart because I had heard, maybe not the full soundtrack, but at least that Falling Slowly song so many times, and I swapped this movie out for something else. I don't remember what it was, but it's 2007, and I'm so glad I did because I loved it. It was cute. It didn't end how I wanted it to end, but it's okay. So I wrote, I don't know what to even say about how special this film is. I love the way it was shot, as if we are secretly peeking into their lives. It feels natural, unrehearsed, authentic. I've listened to the soundtrack so many times and finally had a chance to watch the film. John Carney never stopped making these type of music-infused films. Please and thanks. I watched John Carney's other film, Sing Street, which I thought was really cute because it was like about teenagers, and sometimes those like teen movies can be like stupid and annoying. This one was done really well, and I watched it back in March of 2022, and I was like, WTF, why didn't anyone tell me to watch this sooner? So I am going to make it a mission to watch as many John Carney films as I can because they're good. I'll put it here. That is like based on music and films, but not musicals because I can't stand musicals. And I had a few musicals left. I actually wanted to watch at least maybe 1 or 2 musicals. So I still have some left because I didn't finish this challenge. So he had another movie that came out in 2023 called Flora and Son, which I'm looking forward to watching once it gets on like streaming networks. And that has Eve Hewson. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name, who I know she was in Behind Her Eyes, which was that trippy film that came out in 2021, which everyone watched on Netflix. If you haven't, watch it. But I didn't know, even though I looked her up, but I didn't know, but she's Bono's daughter. You know, now that I think about it, they look alike. She's in his new film, Flora and Son. And then there's also that film with, Adam Levine, Haley Steinfeld, Catherine Keener,
James Corden,
Mark Ruffalo, and Keira Knightley. They better be like, I'm watching it for them. I will fast forward through James Corden's part if I have to. But it's called Begin Again. It has 3.5. It's on Netflix, Hulu, and Freevee. Moving on. I watched Taboo, which was my final silent film. It was okay, but it was like stupid a bit. It was like these people living on Bora Bora, I think, or something. This king came in and was like, I need a wife or something. And he picked, I don't even know how he picked the people, but he picked some chick and she already was like flirting with this other dude. And like, you know, obviously they're going to get together, but they like decide they're going to run away. And then it was like this whole thing where they ran away and the like chief leader of Bora Bora wanted them because they're like, no, you need to go be this king's wife. And like, you know, like, ew, bye. So yeah, it was okay, but it also was just boring. Obsession, 1976. This movie it's by the same guy that Brian De Palma. He directed Scarface and Carlito's Way and Dressed to Kill and all those other ones. Mission Impossible. It's ridiculous. And I can't believe like some of the things that happened. It was like my sister and I watched it together and we were just like,
what?
How is this even possible? Like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, it was you should watch it. Okay, so I was like, I'm going to keep up the ballet crazy films. So after watching Suspiria, both Suspirias, I was like, I'm going to watch The Red Shoes. Funny enough, I think we watched it on its like 75th anniversary or something. It came out in 1948. You can do the math. I can't. It was actually pretty good. Like, my sister and I really liked it. Like, I gave it 4 stars and a heart. And it's so funny because because I watched so many French films and kind of like around the same decades, I started seeing repeat actors. There was a few people in here that I'd seen in other movies already. I don't know why it always is like the male teachers in the ballet movies are, oh, actually no, because Suspiria, they were all women. They're crazy. But yeah, so they think that the women are going to dedicate their whole lives and mess up their feet and like not have any other life or anything. The way that it ended, I'm not going to spoil it, but it was ridiculous, like in a good way. We're just like, did that really just happen? Like, what? It was so dramatic. But the cinematography and the color grade and the storyline was a little ridiculous, but it was such a nice, pleasing visually. I haven't seen ballet, I don't watch ballet, but I was like, man, this makes me want to go watch like a ballet play. I don't know what it's called, but let me go do that. Like the last thing I saw, I think, was when I was like in elementary school and I went to go see like the Nutcracker heck long ago. Then I watched Little Children. My sister said I watched this before, but I didn't log it as a rewatch because I don't remember watching it. I feel like, okay, Kate Winslet, she has like two, my camera is about to die. Okay. Ow. Alright, Kate Winslet plays two types of roles. She's either in, actually maybe not. She just like really loves to play like dramatic roles. And I told myself after the second time, I was never gonna watch it is a movie with her and Leo DiCaprio, and they're a mess, toxic couple. I've watched it 2 times and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this ever again. It's on my, I think I call it my movies that F me up. There's a few other movies on there like Crazy and I think 6 Years. I'm like, I'm never watching these movies ever again, you know, for the sake of my sanity. This one isn't on that level, but it's still some weird stuff. Back then, came out in 2006. Patrick Wilson, he was first in Hard Candy, and I remember my sister and I watched that. He played his role so well, him and Elliot Page, because I was like feeling the ick from him and I was like, ugh. And then I remember he kind of blew up with Insidious and we're just like, ew, that's that actor. But it's like, he was just that good of acting. Dumb. Like he was in his bag. My sister and I started to watch the 3 Colors movies. I think we found it because Julia Delpy, us watching the Before trilogy, so we're like, oh, let's watch this. Although they're totally different. They're like anthologies, so like each movie they kind of intersect but very minimal, and then it kind of intersect more at the end of the 3rd one. So we started off with like Blue. We gave that one 4 stars, and I was like, how much more loss can she take? Creativity and art hold such a transformative power. It's amazing how important and significant it is as an outlet when grieving. Okay, I'm gonna spoil it. Her husband and her child die in a car accident, although he was cheating on her. So he was cheating on her and she found out like after the fact. I think she found out while watching like this news segment on her, I think he was a composer, I can't remember. So she just seemed like she was having one thing after another, and I was just like, geez. Then we watched the second one, which was White. That one I gave it 3.5. It was okay. That one was actually with Julia Delpy, but Julia was so freaking annoying in that. And the story was annoying too, so that's why I gave it 3. Because I originally was going to watch this movie called Persona, I think, but I couldn't get it to play on HBO, only because I found out that I accidentally was screen recording on my laptop. And you know, if you screen record, streaming platforms, they go black now because they don't want you copying or whatever. Only figured that out after, because I looked at my computer and I was like, what is this recording thing? Because like if you have the Mac, like it doesn't show, like your screen isn't highlighted or anything. I discovered that, but that was after I bought the ticket for Canopy for this change of life movie. It was okay, but like it really was just like boring and dramatic. It was, I think it was Italian. No, it was Portuguese. So I think that's like my first Portuguese. I don't really watch a lot of Portuguese. Then we went back to the final 3 Colors, Red. I technically gave it 3.5, but I wrote in here that it was really a 3.7. And I said I didn't like how mean they were to some of the dogs. This lady like found this dude's, well, she hit the dog and then she found the owner. And this guy like eavesdrops. He has like this whole like receiver. I think he was a retired journalist or lawyer or something like that. I don't remember. So he was eavesdropping on his neighbors, and he like turned himself in at one point because she convinced him. But then they became friends. And then the final thing that had the most intersecting of all the 3 movies, which intersected each storyline together, was at the end of this one, there was some boat crash, and then all of them were on that boat together. And like throughout the movie, my sister and I were trying to guess when like we were gonna see the people from the other movie. We're like, is that them? Because we couldn't even remember what the people looked like. Then we watched It's a Wonderful Life. When I had added this, I had no idea it had such a like cult following. I literally never heard of it ever. I gave it 4. It's so funny that like it did so poorly when it first came out in the beginning, and then like people love it now and people watch it annually, which is crazy because the only movie I really watched annually was The Christmas Story, and then like some of the Disney, maybe Scrooge or whatever other animated Disney stuff. And we watched it in color, and it had that look. Like if you ever seen someone restore a black and white photo and add color to it, where it looks like muted, and also like the skin tones don't really look all that realistic. That's what it looked like. But it wasn't bad. Like after a while, you kind of like stopped paying attention to it. Then I watched Pariah. I gave it 4. I didn't write any reviews for it. I thought that it was pretty good. I think at one part I was losing attention in it. Overall, it was good. The Lady from Shanghai, which was 1947. I don't remember. I almost forgot. I just clicked on it to see. I don't know who said yes to Orson Welles and told him that yes, he should fake an Irish accent, but I would take a time machine, go back in time, and tell them not to because it was so bad. It was terrible. His accent, he'd start off sounding super fake Irish, and then he would start losing it. It was just so terrible. He was trying to be this tough guy, and I'm like, ew, like you don't look like some tough guy. Like, I'm like, who are you convincing? No one's believing this. It was just like the storyline. I can't believe it has a 3.8. It was so like back and forth and stupid, and the way it ended was so dumb. It was just, why did he decide to do this accent? It took away from the actual storyline. Also, I wanted to say, going back to A Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart, he sounded like Jerry Seinfeld to me the whole entire time I was watching it. Just like, he sounds very nerdy, and then also like Jerry Seinfeld. Speaking of Seinfeld, I finally watched Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I think what influenced me to finally watch this was because they're ending Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I'm like, of course they're ending it when I decided a while ago, but I wanted to watch it, so I will. I just wrote and now to watch the show, but I gave it 4 stars. About Ellie was also a film I swapped. I don't remember what I originally had. I'm glad because this one's really good. It's from, so it kind of says France and Iran, and they're speaking in Farsi. It also says Persian and a little bit of German too, but not that much. I just said that this was captivating, and I really think so. And I'm not going to spoil it because I think it's better if you go in without any spoilers or just blind, because it was really good, and we need to, celebrate these other movies from the Middle East, just like when I watched A Girl Walks Home at Night. Okay, so then I watched on Christmas a good family movie. No, I was kidding. I watched The Wailing, and we kind of joked around. We were like, we understand why this is called The Wailing, because there was a lot of wailing done throughout this film. I didn't write anything, but it was really good. I'd heard good things about this, and I'm glad that I watched it. We were hooked, even though it was 156 minutes on Christmas. On the day after Christmas, I watched His Girl Friday, 1940, with Cary Grant. They kind of set it up as like fast talking journalist, and that's pretty much what it was. And I felt a little, I don't know how I felt, because they started off divorced. She was about to marry this other dude, and then they ended up together. But like Cary Grant's character is very much self-centered, and he knows that about himself too, and she knows that too, but she still went back with him. I'm like, ew, girl, stand up. It was entertaining. So I watched La Ronde, I don't know, a French film, as you know, cheating. It was okay. It was also like intersecting stories, and I don't really remember, but it was some dude with some like carousel, and he was like, you're all the characters, and he would pop up and people were like,
who are you, or who's that guy?
That got annoying, where he's like, I'm following after my characters, or now I think about it, it came out in 1950, so when I think about it now, it kind of seemed like they were copying like the beginning of It's a Wonderful Life, which probably was copying something else, I don't know, but like that type of breaking the fourth wall. My second to last film, I watched Pepe Le Moco, which is funny. My sister just saw that and saw that I watched it and was asking me if it meant like booger. They're speaking in French, but I think they're in Algiers I wrote down so bad that he gets arrested by. That's all I'm gonna say, because I almost turned it off, but I was like, no, I need to finish it. But it was just like stupid in a way. It has a high rating, but I just didn't like it all that much. A lot of people rated it high. Towards this, I was really just like, I'm tired of this list. I'm tired of these movies. I'm tired of trying to decide which one. And I don't care anymore. So that's why I probably was just like, ugh, about this. And the same with Gang of Four. I had to watch this in 2 days. I wrote slow, but without the burn, because it was like a French film. It was long. It was 160 minutes. And like the story was just long. And I had to actually go up on like, I ended up looking on Wikipedia to like try to read and connect what the hell I just watched, because like I was like losing interest. It also seemed like they weren't explaining some parts all that well either, because I was just like, what the frick is going on? But then once I read the summary on Wikipedia, then I could understand and I knew, okay, that's what happened and this and that. So that's all I watched. Yeah, I'll insert my top 10 here. I don't even know if that's really my top 10, because after a while I was like, I'm not ranking any. I was very tired, as you can tell. I was like done. I didn't want to break nothing. I didn't want to do this and that or anything. But I'm excited for my challenge now. So I moved all like other movies that didn't make the cut for my 100 film list. I moved those over to 2024. So I think I already have like 100. I have 101 already that I'm gonna watch. But I'm excited about these. It's a lot of things that I didn't get to watch. After Sun, Killer, No Hard Feelings, Asteroid City, you know, X, Pearl, Infinity Pool. It has like all those that I didn't get to see. So I'm excited to watch those. So I will see you again in February. Spider-Man has been my favorite superhero since I was a child. That's my dude. So thank you. Thank you, Peter Parker.